So without further ado, I want to bring on Gary Irwin, who is COO of Creative Financial Services. And I think, Gary, you have 34 offices around the country that you are constantly recruiting and helping put staff together for accounting and technology and finance and stuff. Is that true?
Somewhere around that number, Shasta. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. Yeah, so Gary and I met last January. I came to speak at an event with his top salespeople. And so, Gary, I have to start and ask you right off the bat, when you were pitched the idea of having a friendship speaker come in and do your sales training for all of your people, what was your first impression, honestly, your first reaction, honestly?
Okay, so first of all, it wasn't pitched to me. I saw it on the internet with Jennifer Lear on her Facebook, I believe, and I watched it and I sent her a text and I'm like, this is totally different than anything we've ever done, but I want her.
Wow.
And so,
Wow.
and I was scared at the same time, because I thought, whoa, what's my staff going to think? Because we brought some incredible speakers in to talk to our group, and we're a sales organization, so we're in staffing, and we help companies find rock stars for their accounting and technology departments. And so to bring somebody in totally different, I was kind of scared, but at the same time, I thought, what could take our company to a different level, and what are we really missing? So, so we spent some time and we talked about it, and you and I chatted on the phone, and I jumped on it, but at the same time I was pretty scared on it. And
Yeah.
so then when you came in, within the first hour, I'm getting texts from our employees like, you did awesome. This was a great idea, and we got a ton out of it. So afterwards, I probably got, and again, we've had some incredible speakers. And afterwards, I got so many thank yous and awesome comments about how well you did and what our people really got out of it, which again was totally different than anything we've ever done before.
Oh, well, it was such a privilege to me, and I didn't know that you had initiated that. I just thought, man, who's this brave guy bringing in a friendship person? Because
Right,
I can
right,
attest there's not enough people out there Googling, oh, we need somebody to come in and teach friendship to our employees.
exactly.
So yeah, what prompted you to want friendship for your employees? Had you read something or what? Yeah,
No,
that's so interesting.
I first of all, I wasn't thinking that this was going to be help for me personally, but I got a lot out of it personally and for work and in my personal life. So, it made me realize some of the things. And I can remember texting a couple of my friends during your time talking to us that some of the things you suggested. I reached out to some of my friends, and I'm realizing that, God, some of my best friends, other than putting golf together, I pretty much let my wife organize everything, and I just went along with everything. So my best friends, I reached out to while I was there. But I think, I think just the thought, and as I looked around our country, and we're a sales organization, has a lot of people that it could be very cutthroat, and it could be very much looking out for themselves. And and I
Hmm.
think my company, my boss, Dan Casey, has always said that, hey, first of all, find people that you like to hire, and then hopefully they could do a great job, but make sure you like them first. And at first I didn't, I listened to that, but I didn't really pay much, I didn't pay much attention to it. And I hired some people that, I thought, well, it's just work. Who cares if they don't have to be liked, but they do have to be liked because everyone else has to get along with them. And to
Yeah.
be able to, I'm not saying they have to be great friends, but the things that make up a great friendship, I think is very important in an office. And they have
Yeah.
to work together and all to try to achieve the same common goal. But at the same time, when there's commissions involved, and there could be some selfishness along the way. And so I was dealing with some selfishness and some things where I thought certain situations weren't going the way I wanted them to. So I thought, well, this could really help. And then after we did it, many other situations kind of popped up that we're like, wow, that's helping this situation that we didn't even really know was a problem. So that was kind of the
Beautiful.
direction that we went.
Beautiful. Well, several of the things I loved about you and how you modeled it is one thing I remember I said to you at at the forefront, I have an assessment, and that assessment, by the way, is available and free to everybody at thebusinessoffriendship.com for everybody's teams to use, where people can assess, kind of rate how they feel in on their team and how connected they feel to each person on their team. And I asked you if you were interested in doing that, and you ended up saying yes for all 34 of your offices, I believe, where we ended up
Right.
having that assessment, which we were then able to give you scores for every office, if there were, you can kind of tell if there were some problems, or which of the three requirements was lowest and where you could be impacted by that. Yeah, did anything jump out at you from that, or anything that any outcomes that you would look at that just felt like resonated with you, and it changed anything that happened the way you guys did work?
It didn't shock us where some of those negatives came out. The positives were awesome, but that didn't shock us. But the negatives, what I loved about it is the people and I would pick on a couple offices that came back and said, "Hey, we think we could do better at this." And two of the offices that didn't rate very well came back and they said, "Hey, we want to start a book club with their book," which was obviously before this book. And they had, monthly calls, or monthly, not, well, they turned into monthly video calls or Zoom
Yeah,
calls like we're
yeah.
doing.
Oh, I love that.
But at first they were going to be monthly calls or monthly meetings. And it's turned out, and I think the atmosphere's changed. I think it's turned out very positive. It's not perfect. And, we keep striving to get a little bit better at that situation. So, I thought we were a company that, did a lot of things really well and treated people
Yeah.
really well. But we learned a lot of things about how everybody could be a little bit different, a little bit better. And, again, myself, I wasn't going into that thinking that I was going to learn a ton out of your presentation, but I came away with a lot of information that helped me personally and helped me professionally.
Gary, your testimony means so much. And I remember, I think I posted on LinkedIn when I was at your awards dinner the night before I spoke at your event. And I believe somebody in your office, Becky, was retiring,
Yeah,
and you were thanking her, and you said, "She's my best friend at work." And I remember the night before just being like, "Oh, look at this good leadership being modeled from the front." And you teared up. And I just
yeah,
remember, this is a good man. This is a man who is willing to say, "I have friends, that it matters, that I care about people, that those relationships will be missed." And I
right.
have just the utmost respect for you. Do you have any close friends right now, or or is
You
lonely?
know,
Do you feel like it's lonely at the top?
um, I have a few close friends, but a lot of people that I have friendship qualities with. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, Becky left and was with my company for 20 some years. And I got to see her last weekend, which was awesome. And she's moved to
Yeah.
Florida. And so I got to see her, which was the first time since she retired. Um, but that was a tough situation. But I have other very close friends, and probably a couple that I consider best friends.
Awesome. Anybody you want to give a shout out to
No, because I got
before
a
we
couple
go?
in mind, and yeah, I'm going to pass on that.
Fair enough. I have evidence that you're somebody who models it and lets them know that. So that's awesome. Gary, it was such a privilege to have you join us. And thank you for taking the risk that it was to have me come speak to your organization. And just want to thank you for being one leader out in this world who is helping make their offices and their teams more conducive, more friendly, more meaningful. So just want to say thank you.
Thanks, Shasta. Best of luck with your book. I'm sure everyone's going to love it. So, and I'm sure my employees will love it. So, have a great rest of your
Like,
day. Good luck.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I so
Okay.
appreciate it. Have a good night.
Thanks. You too.